feeling on that?
Well, look, I mean, you know, the decision about execution, you know, a lot of the people that weigh on this, they weigh in on this long before it gets to me. I mean, you have juries and judges, and then when it finally gets to me, I sit down with Gary Moore and with a number of the members of my staff to examine the cases. Now, we have never been in a hurry to move forward with executions. We had one man who'd had, you know, he was born and had nothing but a nightmare life, and I thought about it, and we reprieved or commuted the death penalty to life in prison. There was doubt in Cincinnati about who the trigger man was in one of the cases, and we commuted the sentence. There's a case, and it was a very difficult one, where a man, you know, again, I want to go back to the trigger man, where it was a very tough case, death, and, you know, we just couldn't be certain. So I look at this very, very carefully. But I am a supporter of the death penalty, because I think that when somebody's life is taken, made in the image of God, that the death penalty is an appropriate response, but we take it, you know, we look at it very, very carefully. Now, with the last execution, the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, you know, they do an after execution study, which they are engaged in today. And I want to hear what they have to say upon completion of that. I do not believe they're going to come back and recommend that we don't do this anymore. They're looking at what the impact was, what happened in there. And if there's adjustments to be made, they will come and recommend them. But this does not take away from the fact that I think the death penalty is appropriate. I take it extremely seriously. I'm not in a rush to do anything, but I do believe that justice may be done, must be done. We had a case where a man wanted to donate an organ. It was about 24 hours before that decision, or the decision to execute. And they came to me and said, what should we do? And you can look at it many different ways. My view is if a man at the end of his life wants to do something to preserve the life of somebody else, let's give him a chance. Now, we've had to put protocol rules into effect because of the National Organ Donation Organization, which we're going to write to. But I called the family. The family of the lady who worked at the desk who was shot point blank in the head. Was not easy. You're very distressed about the delay. I think sometimes in the case of the death penalty, we tend to forget the pain of the family and the victim. You make these phone calls, and you can look at this in a very balanced way. So we'll see what the DRC has to say, but at the end of the day, I believe the death penalty, when applied, you know, in a strict way, with a thoroughness, is appropriate amount of justice that should be delivered.
All right, I know we have a lot of